Hello, Stampers! Welcome to another episode of Make It Monday with me, your host, Laura Buechler from Inkyfingers Papercrafting. So happy to be back with you again. I was off last Monday because of being sick on the weekend. I didn't have any time or energy to do any crafting, so I wasn't able to go live with you on Monday. But here I am now, happy to be with you to remind you that creativity is fun, creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. So I have some fun stuff to show you today. We're going to learn some techniques, learn or review if you already know these techniques. And we're going to make a lovely card together. This is the card we're making, and it's using the Notes of Spring stamp set, which you can get for only $5 Canadian while supplies last. I'm going to tell you more about how to do that. But let's get started. Let's jump into crafting together with this beautiful stamp set. So I'm also using the Floral Charm Designer Series paper. I've used a die here, which is from Stylish Shapes. And I think that's all the different things I've used. Some gems here, but we'll get into that later. So let's get started. I have got a Night of Navy card base and my Floral Charm Designer Series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that onto my card. All right, so the Notes of Spring stamp set, as I said, you can get it for only $5, and that's because it is a product of the month. Now, the product of the month is a new-ish program. Stampin' Up! Started it in December, and every month they come out with a new product. So far, we've had 2 different stamp sets, 2 different designer series papers, and what's the next one coming up? We've got a die set coming up, or it's one die. It's like a big background die, so it's very cool looking. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but okay, we're just going to go with it. So if you place an order of $100 or more, you can add the product of the month to your shopping cart for only $5. And this Notes of Spring stamp set is the product of the month for March. There's a brand new product of the month coming in just a few days. However, despite the fact that it's called the product of the month, it actually remains available past the month it was released as long as the stock has not run out. So some of the products of the months, some of them have run out and are no longer available, and some of them from past months are still available. So as of right now, the Notes of Spring stamp set is still available, and until it goes out of stock, you can get it with your qualifying order for only $5. All right, so that is all the die cutting that I need to do. I just needed to cut a circle, or a portion of a circle, really. I'm not even going to use the whole circle. So I happened to have a scrap of cardstock that was already a little bit smaller than the circle die I used. If I want to cut it even further, I can just put that in my trimmer and trim off a little bit more, but I'm going to play with that and see if that size feels right to me. So that's going to go here. That's looking pretty good. I think that's good. All right, so this is where I'm going to do my stamping and coloring and decorating. This is going to be the focal point of my card. Now, here's one of the techniques that we're going to use today, which is 2-step stamping. So you can see when you look at the stamp set that it has 2 deer stamps, 2 duck stamps, and 2 bunny stamps. And then it's also got 2 of each of these floral image stamps as well. So this is a 2-step stamping set, and it's also a distinctive stamping set. So I'm going to show you exactly how that works. I've got my 2 little deer stamps right here. I'm going to grab some very ugly scrap paper. Sorry for the mess, but that's what scrap paper is for, right? It's for getting messy. And of course, because I'm using photopolymer stamps, I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath where I'm stamping. So I'm going to start by stamping the outline of the deer. And I'm using Pecan Pie ink to do that. And then I'm going to stamp the solid image of the deer. And I'm going to use pecan pie again, but I'm going to stamp off on my scrap paper and then line it up and stamp it onto my project. Look at that. That is gorgeous. So the distinctive, as you can see, it's really got some texture and dimension to the image that I stamped. So all of the stamps in the stamp set will have that effect. All right, so there's my deer, and now I want to introduce another cool technique. I personally love this technique, and this is called masking. So I have got some of Stampin' Up's masking paper. Let me show you the package. Here's what the Stampin' Up masking paper looks like. You get 12 sheets, and I believe they measure, oh yeah, it tells me right there, 5 by 7. You get 12 sheets in the package, and the masking paper is just, it's got an adhesive on one side and a surface for you to stamp on the other side. So what I'm going to do is stamp my little deer again, and it doesn't even matter that it's already kind of stamped off, because all I'm using this for is fussy cutting it out. Now, if you did not want to fussy cut this out, you might have a die that's coordinating with the project that you're using, or you don't have to do the masking technique at all. I find with a little bit of fussy cutting, you can make a mask, and then you can use that mask. You can save it and use it for lots and lots of different projects. So that's what I like to do, is put the effort in once, and you can see this is only going to take me like 30 seconds to cut that out, right? And then I've got this mask now forever, and I can use it lots and lots of times. So I wrote DNS, as in do not stamp, on this side, so I could keep track of which side I should stamp on. All right, now I've revealed the adhesive here, and what I want to do is just take a piece of, oh, actually, my Stampin' Pierce mat will work well for this. You could also just stick it on your clothes, your shirt or your pants a couple times, just to take a little bit of the stickiness away. Yes, my deer's head has torn a little bit, but that's okay. I'm still going to be able to use it for what I want. Okay. So now I'm going to take this sticky little deer. I'm going to go ahead and take the head right off. And I'm going to use it to cover the image that I stamped. And of course, it fits really neatly because it's the same image, right? So now is where the excitement comes in. Now I'm going to take these floral images from the Notes of Spring stamp set, and I'm going to stamp them onto my card. And the masking paper is going to prevent the floral shapes from being stamped directly onto the deer. Does that make any sense? Let's find out. I see there's a couple people watching. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know from where you're tuning in from, and let me know if you've done a masking technique before, either like this with masking paper or a different kind of masking technique. I'm going to stamp this one here, and then this one over on the other side. And then I'm going to get, that was Old Olive I was just using, and now I'm going to bring in Lemon Lime Twist for the second step of my two-step stamping. And I'm going to do just a couple of little creative things. And I'm going to stamp, oh, I need to clean this one off. I'm going to stamp the same image in Lemon Lime Twist. Okay, we got Jan Hudson tuning in from Rome, Georgia. Well, I'll tell you something. I've been to Rome, Italy, but I've never been to Georgia. Let's see. What kind of things do I know about Georgia? That's where peaches come from. They talk in a delightful, beautiful accent. I imagine it's very warm there. And I understand that Atlanta has a wonderful arts and culture scene. Those are the things I know about Atlanta. So hello to you, Jan. Thank you for joining us. All right, so I have finished stamping my floral images. So now I'm going to take away the masking paper. And here's our adorable little deer just nestled so nicely into the flora, right? Okay, I'm also going to grab my lemon lime twist blend, and I'm just going to add a little shadow under the deer. There we go. So, very happy with how that looks. So we've learned 2 techniques already. We've learned 2-step stamping and we've learned masking. And I guess if you want to call using a partial shape a technique, we've learned that as well. All right. So as the quote unquote final touch on this circle, I really want to make it pop from the background. So have a look here. When I put that on the card, because this is white and this has a white background, the focal point is kind of getting lost. So in order to prevent that, I'm going to use a sponge dauber with lemon lime twist ink. And I'm going to generously go all around the edges of my circle and then even over on this straight edge. And now check out the difference when I put this on. Now there's a bit of contrast there and your eye is more naturally drawn to that circle. So there you go. There's another technique to add to your collection is the sponge dauber technique. Now, of course, everything that you see me using in today's video and all of our Make It Monday videos is from Stampin' Up. And you can get a set of, I think it's 5 daubers. And I want to say it's $7 Canadian. So pretty affordable. Next, what I want to do is stamp the sentiment. And I see I forgot to take that out of the stamp case. Let's grab that. So we have 3 sentiments in this set. We've got especially for you, a little note of thanks, and happiest birthday wishes. The sample that I made is happiest birthday wishes. So I think with this one, I'm going to make it a note of thanks. I like to have some thank you cards on hand. Not only are they good to have on hand for all kinds of kindnesses that people do, but I like to send a thank you card to anybody who places an order from me. So let's find, I think I'm going to have to use this little block. There we go. So if you place a Stampin' Up! Order from me in the next couple of weeks, you might be getting this card in the mail. Oh, we've got Pat Williams coming in from Alabama. My goodness, I know no trivia about Alabama. Welcome, Pat. Pat and Jan, tell us what kind of creative things you've been up to lately. Are you also card makers? Is that how you found this channel? I would love to know. Okay, so I've got my Night of Navy ink, and I'm just going to stamp a little note of thanks, and I want to kind of use the circle here to help me decide where I want to put my sentiment. So I want my circle to be about there. So, okay. Let's take it off of the card so we're not stamping with multiple layers underneath. That's a good way to have a crooked stamp. And now we have a little note of thanks. All right. I think we're ready now to just put all of these pieces together and turn them into a beautiful thank you card. So I'm going to start with mounting this little strip where I've stamped my sentiment onto a slightly larger strip of pecan pie cardstock. Okay, Jan says, I have just cleaned up a huge mess from a card making session. Oh, I can relate. Isn't it funny how much mess we can make while we're making cards? But May I ask, how many cards did you get to make during your card making session? And how much fun did you have? Because that's really the point, right? Yes, we get to make wonderful cards and we get to send them out and spread joy to the people around us. And we have so much fun doing it. And I'm so proud of you, Jan, for cleaning up your mess. It's a lot easier said than done. Sometimes leaving the craft space in a mess is just one of those habits that we all fall into once in a while, right? Okay. Now, I feel like I put this a little bit too far over. So I have a really good solution for this problem, fortunately. I'm going to use the spatula side of the Take Your Pick tool to break the adhesive. And I'm going to trim off the end. And move that over a little bit. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't go as far now because the circle is going to cover that other spot, right? Okay, Jan made 15 cards and had a blast. Yes, girl. Shout out to Jan. Sounds like an amazing way to spend the morning. Okay, and Pat says, I enjoy card making and play around a lot. I found you because I'm always looking for inspiration. Well, fantastic. I'm so glad you found me. Not only do I go live here on YouTube every Monday, except stat holidays, I also have a website, inkyfingers.ca, where you can find tutorials for sale, tutorial bundles, virtual classes, and all kinds of great stuff. So be sure to check that out. There's lots of inspiration to be had there, Pat. And you're just going to have so much fun exploring the website. Okay, there we go. A little note of thanks. Oh, so cute. Now, of course, we need some bling. I have got here the In Color, trying to remember the year. It must be 2025 to 2027. I had to really think hard about that one. In Color dots. And I'm using the Timid Tiger dots because there is Timid Tiger accents here in this paper. So that's picking up from there. All right, 15 is a lot, right? Ooh, that sounds amazing. I'd like to do that this afternoon. I wonder if all the rest of my to-do list will just take a back seat so I can do that. All right, so there we go. A little note of thanks. There's our finished card, and we've got the happiest birthday wishes version as well. I thought this would make a great masculine card because, you know, we're always looking for masculine cards. It's always a little bit more of a challenge to find those masculine cards, right? So I hope this video has inspired you today. Whether you're going to make 15 cards or even just one, I'll be thrilled to know that you did that. Because remember, creativity is fun, creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. Jan can tell you that it's fun because she just made 15 cards. Way to go, Jan. Pat and Jan, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the replay. And if you would like to take some creative time for yourself, I sure hope that you'll spend some of it doing some paper crafting. And if you're looking for supplies or inspiration or how-to ideas, check out my website at inkyfingers.ca. Have a great day, everyone. Happy stamping. There's no Make It Monday next week because it's Easter Monday, but I'll see you in 2 weeks for our next Make It Monday edition. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day.